Well, I'm sorry you can't see it, but the moon looks amazing. And it never comes across on the iPhone very well. But that's the moon. Good morning, moon. All right, let's walk. New neighborhood this morning. I meant to be filming myself. I just usually don't go this way because if I go to the other end of this neighborhood, there are no sidewalks to get me home, and that part of my street is a little dangerous to be a pedestrian on. So I'll have to just loop back around to it. But then newer neighborhood and newer, larger homes. So this is as Anderson started to grow. Most of the other parts that I've been walking on were Mount Washington anyway, and Mount Washington and Anderson are two very different neighborhoods here in the city. So this is no longer post-war. This is now 70s and 80 build. So yeah, 2 stories, a lot of shutters, columns, that kind of thing. Just heard sirens off in the distance. Yesterday, there was a lot of weird stuff happened kind of in the area. And so hearing the sirens today, I'm like, what's going on now? And there was like, bomb threats called in at a bunch of targets, and in a school they thought there was a vague threat made or something like that in one of the local schools. And maybe that was some of the sirens I heard in the morning. I don't know. But come on, people. Just, let's, civility is the grease upon which civilization slides. That's one of my lines. Be nice to each other, right? So sidewalk goes about that far that way, and then it's twisty curvy, and then the sidewalk goes that way, not even to the next street. So you can, if you're looking, you can see the end of it. So therefore we are turning around and going back from whence we came. Got about half an hour to go. This is a cool shed / garage behind this house, and I just wanted to get a picture of it. So enough of that foolishness. Cool, good on you. Wow. In addition to the porch that needs to come down and get rebuilt, our shed is about to fall over. And not exactly, but need a new shed. So, and I have looked at, 40 videos on YouTube about shed building and shed design. So I'm fully prepared to build one, but I really need to get the thing attached to the house repaired first and not just slap paint on it so it doesn't look like garbage. Just as I was stretching my arms a little bit as I was walking, and thought, there's a little twinge because I did a little elevated push-ups yesterday. These things appeared to me, and now on 2 of them I've done some elevated push-ups because I haven't done push-ups in a long time. And the first 10 were a snap. Second 10 were a little bit of a struggle. There's another box up there. Let my pecs rest a little bit, and maybe we'll do some more when we get up there. It took me a minute to realize that all of those boxes, there was 2 more on this street that I did not do push-ups on, are because there's no wires underground. Black-eyed Susans, right? See a lot of those. At least that's what I call them. And then look, in the next yard, there's also a bunch. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but landscaping, things like that tend to happen in clumps like that, like neighborhoods will all kind of happen upon. So we got a lot of houses on the street that have those flowers. One I'm approaching has a lot of them. Around a different part of the neighborhood that I was walking yesterday and other days, big like banana leaf plants seem to have cropped up in several houses. One has it pretty much obscuring the front door and their little front porch completely from the road, which I totally understand, but it's just interesting. We look around the house and say, oh, that looks cool, I'm gonna do that too. All right, we've made our new nectar. We boiled it. I always boil it so that mold doesn't grow in it. Really don't need to be using the dyed stuff, just so you know. Just regular sugar will work, but I'm just working my way through the stock of stuff that I already owned. And we're gonna refill the feeder. So that's all cleaned out. Did I ever tell you about the time when I boiled up? You can see that one little dot in there. I maybe can scrub it out finally. Let me tell you a little story about that. Once upon a time when I first learned that you really should boil your hummingbird food so that it doesn't mold in the feeder, because the mold can kill the hummingbirds. I put some in here and put it on the stove and then forgot about it. And yeah, it like burned into a hard black, sugar. When you burn sugar, that's not good. And I literally had to soak this thing for like weeks, and I would scrape at it and I'd put salt in it and Dawn and whatever. And I finally was able to scour this nice little Giada De Laurentiis induction suitable impact bonded stainless steel 20-ounce little thing. Got it clean again. Thought I was gonna have to throw it away. Sorry, gotta get my stool out of the way. So what inspired me to do this today? A friend of mine who's very nature oriented posted on Facebook from a local actual hummingbird like rescue and this education whatever group. Somebody that had, with good intentions to keep the ants and bugs out of their hummingbird feeder, had hung flypaper by it. A hummingbird got stuck in the flypaper. Didn't think that one through. Good intentions. The person who I checked out their page, and they were nice about it as they're trying to rescue this hummingbird that had feathers ripped off, and good luck to them. And so I was like, I learned my trick at the zoo, just to use cooking oil, paint just a little bit on the attachment point, so that you can the ants won't cross it. They won't cross that little patch of oil. And I learned it at the Cincinnati Zoo, actually, in the insect house, where a guy was in the insect house and he was working where he was adjusting some little bit some feature of their habitat in there. And there was no like door or window on it. It was just a hole cut in the wall on the backside of the display, but you could see this shiny around it, about an inch wide. And it was just some kind of oil that they had painted on there. And he came out and around because he saw people watching him, and that's how zoo people are, to explain what was going on. And I asked about the hole, and he said, "Yeah, it's ants won't cross the oil, so we just paint a little thin layer of oil around that." Now, in this post from the about the hummingbird, there was some talk about what you can do, and the people put Vaseline on the poles, and that's not good because that's sticky for the birds and bad too, and oil. And I wanted to comment, and I still might, that the dose makes the poison. I use cooking oil, in this case vegetable oil, and the ants won't cross it. But I just use the amount that I can get on my finger and my thumb. You don't have to paint the whole thing. You just paint and at the attachment point, and they won't cross it. And it's worked for me. There was one ant and one dead bee, actually, that somehow managed to get inside the dispenser. I have no idea how they actually got in there, because the holes are sized for a hummingbird, tongue. So how that large bee or that bee got in there, no clue. All right, again, too much talking. My mom used to call this stuff monkey grass. It's liriope, I believe, is the correct name, and it is blooming. And then, of course, I love this. We got a volunteer coleus. Is that what that is? That no doubt came off of what used to be in this window basket last season maybe. And so my wife just hung, I don't even know why this is hanging from this window basket, but ever since that thing started growing, I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it. What I should do is put some other stuff in there and make it birdy. Oh, a visitor just flew in. There you go. All right. I just needed to come outside. I mean, I do get my morning hour outside, which is nice. But yeah, meeting. I mean, it was a social meeting that we do on Thursdays, but I have another meeting at 3, and so I just wanted to come outside for a little bit. I was going through a couple of memory sticks that I backed up phone photos and some photos on, and a lot of it was things from looking out the back window in various seasons and taking pictures of when deer are in the yard. And this behind me, let me touch that, let it focus on that part. There we go. Seeing that much sky out of our backyard is still, to me, it's still weird, because it used to just be trees, and now it's going on 3 years. It'll be 3 years since they deforested back there, and we're just now almost finished with the first sold house after 3 years. And they finished the model house, but that one just doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. 3 years. I have my spreadsheet out. I've got my photos of the scale, and today is August 31st. It's Thursday, and depends upon when we started, right? So the Monday that I started was actually July 31st. Overnight that night, I gained a couple of pounds. So if we go from the high on August 3rd, I've actually lost exactly 12 pounds. If we go from the August 1st, I've lost less than that. Let's see, 10 and a half pounds. So that's still pretty good for a month, right? I think so. Actually, when I was initially doing this a couple of years ago, when I went low carb, I lost a bunch of pounds in a week, which was crazy because I went hardcore no carb, which I haven't really been doing. But really the best results I had was when in the November and December of that year, 2019, I guess it was, when I was really, I can check and see when it was. Anyway, I lost 10 pounds in November and then 10 pounds in December. So those were my 2 good months. So I hope maybe I can lose another 10 pounds before the reunion. I better walk some more. Actually, while I have the spreadsheet up, it was actually 5 years ago. It was 2018. Wow, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. So 2018 started in the spring, actually, and just kind of went hardcore keto, which was a bummer because we were training and my colleague brought donuts and stuff and I couldn't eat it. But I mean, literally in 9 days, from the April 18th, April 27th, I lost 13 pounds in 9 days. I was fat. It's easy to lose that much weight when you're fat. And then that stalled, really. I didn't lose another 10 pounds until the 1st of September. And then from there, I started fasting in the end of October is when the 16 and 8 thing, which I've been doing pretty consistently for the past 5 years, but it hasn't really helped. But then I went from, that was about 10 pounds down from there. So I lost a total of 30 pounds by the 17th of November. And then between the 17th of November and the 20th of December, I was down another 10 pounds. So I lost 40 pounds from April 18th to December 20th. All right, flipping over to the other year, it took till March 8th to lose another 10 pounds. And then I was down 60 by the 19th. So in a year, almost exactly a year, I lost 60 pounds.